Alright guys, today's little lesson is basically on optogenetics and optogenetic hacking. Okay buddy, close the door, I'll be right in. Sounds good. So we're going to talk a little bit of genetic and consciousness hacking. It's something I'm a huge fan of. So today we're going to talk a little bit how to do this, what it does, how it works, what the chemicals are, and just some neat little different things. So for optogenetics hacking, what we first need to understand is optogenetics. Optogenetics means light and genetic signaling. Your cell functions, your DNA especially, and then other cell functions, your cells will communicate via light signals, especially ultraviolet light is a very big one that your cells will use to signal cell division or different cell functions that go on, and especially genetic expression. So bergamot oil and myrrh oil are two of one of my favorite ones to talk optogenetic hacking. First oil we're going to talk about is bergamot. Bergamot is high in chemicals that are called coumarins, or more specifically furanocoumarins. Furanocoumarins are found in citrus oils such as lemon, lime, and bergamot. There's a very neat chemical in bergamot oil that is called limatine. It gives it its very green color. The green color is very good for mitochondrial hacking. Your mitochondrial cells, if you eat chlorophyll, they're actually able to eat light energy and turn it into creatine. So your body, remember, you're a light being. This physical body that you see is a slowed down vibration that is coagulated into physical matter. And your cells in your body can actually eat light, especially when given the proper nutrition. So you can always throw in extra spirulina and chlorella because of this green power. It allows your cells to actually eat light and recycle creatine faster, and it boosts the Krebs cycle up and the reverse Warburg effect. But we're going to go back to the coumarins and the furanocoumaroids, or furanocoumarins most specifically. So what these furanoids do, or furanocoumarins, they're found in the peels of the citrus oil because the citrus fruit, when it grows, it then has to ripen. So what it does is it actually cheats, and it makes these furanoids that amplify ultraviolet light. So if you get citrus oils such as the bergamot especially is the big one, that it makes you very sunlight sensitive, UV sensitive. So if you put bergamot oil on topically, or lemon, or lime oil, if you go out into the sun, it will amplify UV light and cause you to sunburn faster. So they have a lot of warnings on these oils of don't go into the sun after you put on these citrus oils because you will burn much faster. That's very, very true. The thing is, however, what we can use these for is if you take a bergamot oil topically or even internally, however you want to do it, what this is going to do, these furanoids will amplify the ultraviolet light in your genetics and this optogenetic cell signaling and DNA signaling, that it will allow a much stronger signal to get through because it amplifies UV light. This will allow your cells to communicate cell functions differently and DNA replication and DNA encoding even faster. The Ninja Red, great to add the antioxidants because then your cells can take the antioxidants and build in your experiences because your genetics are changing on a nanosecond by nanosecond basis. They are not static. Your genetics are not what you were born with. They change based on your environment and based on what you're exposed to. So in your DNA, basically, it's powerfully negatively electric charge carried by it, so that's why it likes to attract heavy metals. Heavy metals lock in these negative experiences. Well, by adding the bergamot oil, it's going to up the intensity of the UV light of the communication between the cells in the mitochondria and in the DNA, so that a stronger signal can get through, so you get a stronger UV light signal from this optogenetic signaling. I like to pair this with myrrh oil because myrrh oil actually has the opposite effect. It's a sunscreen. Myrrh is very interesting because the main chemicals that are in myrrh are actually on their own are toxic. Dr. David Stewart talks about myrrh oil. It's very, very unique. It's been used for a very long time. It's super safe for pregnant women, everybody. It's a very safe thing. But the individual chemicals in myrrh, the main 5 constituents, are actually each poisonous on their own. But through an action called quelching, this chemical that's poisonous and this one that's poisonous, when combined together, are no longer poisonous. But so to go back to the optogenetic hacking, the myrrh oil, what it will do is allow your cells to send a stronger UV light. That's what the bergamot oil is for, and the furanoids. They amplify that UV signal, the UV light for the optogenetic signaling, but the myrrh oil will actually act as a bit of a sunscreen. So what this is going to do when you put the two together, myrrh oil is kind of like a way to slow down time. Is a really cool way to think about it, that it slows down time. Frankincense speeds up time, whereas myrrh oil slows it down. So they say frankincense is good for, spiritual going up, correcting errors, because it kind of speeds up time with your intention. Remember, always have your intentions when you use them. But these UV signals that are amplified by the furanocoumarins that are in the bergamot oil will then also be dampened down by the myrrh. So now, while it sounds counterproductive to say, well, you're going to amplify the signal and then you're going to dampen it down too, It doesn't quite exactly work like that. What's going to end up happening is you're going to get this amplified UV signal, so you have a stronger signal coming through. So if there's any form of toxicity or anything else, it's basically like shining a brighter flashlight in a dusty room. The brighter flashlight allows the light to get through. The thing is, this can be a little bit too strong of a light, so your cells can actually sunburn internally from this optogenetic signaling. So we use the myrrh oil paired with it. If you look in your essential oil desk reference, you'll find myrrh and bergamot go very well together. They're complementary in pairing. When you use the myrrh with that, what it's going to allow is this stronger signal to come through from the furanoids that are in the bergamot. But then it's going to protect the cell as well from being burnt by this stronger signal coming through. So these stronger, cleaner signals can come through without burning the little antennas in your body, basically saying, okay, this UV light comes in, it has to reach something for it to be signaled. When you add the myrrh with it, it protects the cell, so this stronger light signal can come in without burning the cells internally. You can also use it externally for a sunscreen as well. But the myrrh oil is also going to slow down the time which happens in your cells and in this cell signaling. By slowing down this time, it allows your cells to kind of concentrate more. It's kind of like allowing them to meditate a little bit, saying, okay, this light is coming in, I'm receiving this signal through optogenetic signaling, and I'm going to slow down time and meditate and focus on receiving this signal clearly without being sunburned. So these are... It's time to go. Close the door, bud. I'll be right in. 2 minutes.
1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute, fine. So, when you use these two, Connie, yes, I do have a book out called 33 Days of Oils. Is probably going to be the one that's going to be the most interesting to you. I do have one called Essentially Fit. They're both on Amazon. There's also So You're Going to Have a Baby book. That's a great one for anybody wanting to navigate the medical world as far as pregnancy goes and all the medical procedures. But back to the story. What this is going to do is this is going to allow your genetics and your consciousness to hyper upgrade and also clean up different genetic errors that are in there. So the myrrh and the bergamot oil, use the bergamot oil first with the myrrh over it, because the myrrh is going to slow down the time and slow down how quickly it absorbs, because citrus oils diffuse very rapidly throughout the body. Bergamot's basically a citrus oil. What is it? Bergamot is an unripe orange? Unripe orange is kind of what bergamot is. So bergamot will also increase deuterium recycling and the reverse Warburg effect much quicker, so you'll have less of this pathogenic hydrogen around. So Jack Kruse, great guy to follow with all that stuff and his mitochondrial hacking. But so those that are looking to do some mito hacking as well to speed it up, if you add chlorella spirulina and then you use bergamot and myrrh, it's going to allow your body and your cells to eat light faster. Get this programmed into your genetics faster. If you take the Ninja Red and add in the antioxidants, now you're giving it the ability to actually encode the information into the genetics faster, because it has the antioxidant content to do that. Where to put them on your body, that is an entirely different story, because each different emotion and piece of consciousness is carried in a different part of the body. So that's not a small video that I can put together and say, hey, here's best where to use it. I actually would just say, if you want, because intention always matters. Oils amplify intention. So the intention that you want to have to be able to upgrade these genetics and then boost your optogenetic signaling, having that intention in mind when using it is going to allow the oils to interact with the body much faster, especially down at a quantum level. So one of my favorite ways to do it, if you're just wanting to do an all over, is just put them both in your water and drink them. Myrrh oil is safe to drink. Just don't drink a whole bunch of it. I mean, like 1, 2, 3 drops is fine. It's better to do less oils more often than it is to do more oils less often. So basically, don't do all your oils all at once and then not do any the rest of the day. Spread them out over the day, because that's better on the liver and the recycling and the detox, and then this takes time to encode into the genetics and these things. So your best way, if you want to just get started on an all-over body genetic upgrade, you can basically take Ninja Red, bergamot, and myrrh, put it in your water and drink it. And then if you add in your spirulina and chlorella, that's going to allow you to do mitochondrial hacking much faster, along with boost the reverse Warburg effect, and the whole Krebs cycle and creatine recycling is going to go way faster. So it's a super great way that's super cheap to be able to super hyper boost your body's ability to handle these genetic upgrades. Because remember, basically the alchemical principle is light into matter. When you slow down this time enough, it coagulates into actual matter, and that's what's going on. So the more light energy that you can hold and that your body can receive, that can then be built into your body faster and be carried around with you in our 3D realm. So hopefully this has been a really interesting video for you guys to kind of contemplate and get your brain cooking on a few things. I'm going to do a lot more videos like this, but I first have to just kind of get this information out so you sort of think about it a little bit and say, oh, well, wait a second, hold on, we're light beings, but we got a physical this. we use, you know, light to signal between our cells and our genetics and these different cell functions. Like, yes, this absolutely is what's going on. And it's really neat, the things that you can start doing with yourself to be able to ground into your soul. Bergamot is especially good for those who are carrying around a lot of grief and sadness. That's leukemia is kind of like it's the immunological expression of grief and sadness that you've been carrying around turns into a type of leukemia. Because remember, your emotions in your bodies, your emotions, they get trapped in different areas of the body, and they can absolutely cause huge levels of sickness. There's the emotion code, there's the EFT, the tapping, the AFT, all of these different things. These emotions that you carry around can turn into physical illness because that emotion over a long enough period of time slows down and actually turns into a genetic error and turns into these cancers. So anybody that's got a lot of grief and sadness, they're carrying around bergamot over the heart and a little bit of myrrh to basically ground that soul in. Remember, anytime that you get an emotional detox, there's always a physical detox associated with it. Anybody that drinks coffee or anything, cadmium is a big one that gets carried in the heart because the heart's a very fatty tissue area. So if you can support a heavy metal detox in a proper way as well, that's a big deal to be able to pick these up, because your DNA also carries these traumas genetically that not only you have, but your ancestors and great-grandfather, great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. So humanity's at this really cool point where our consciousness is starting to bump up really high, but we've got all these old traumas that are left not only from our individual lives, but the ones carried from our ancestors. And then there's some people, if you want to talk about it, we get into past life stuff as well. But humanity's at this really neat point that all of these traumas are being cleared and our genetics are all being upgraded collectively and individually. So the more that you individually can affect your consciousness level and your vibration and clear your genetic and family traumas, that helps the next person do it. Just like if you've been through something rough, you know, empaths, you know, you've been through like everything and then some, I get that. You've been through everything, so your ability to handle that emotion gives you the ability to help somebody else do it. So just by you existing and upgrading your genetics, you exist at that vibration. You're a node in the network. Every person that you walk past, that you interact with. Yes, buddy, we're going. Hold on. So every person you walk past, you're carrying that vibration and affecting the reality around you, because you're vibrating at a certain musical note that helps retune the whole world. So these are really fun topics. So remember, everybody, while it looks like doom and gloom out there and all this stuff, remember, you have the power just by existing and saying, you know what, listen, vaccines are complete freaking poison, and that's all there is to it, and they're basically creating a medical holocaust. By you existing, not even saying that, you existing at that vibration affects all of reality around you. Every person you talk to, there's an exchange of energy of a sort that goes on, and you're basically holding these energies as a node in the network, saying this is the reality and the vibration that I'm going to bring to the world to be able to positively affect it. And so hopefully this little talk that I'm giving to everybody, this little video, is positively affecting your day, and you can spread that on and have a bunch of fun with it. So you guys have an amazing day. I'm going to go fly my little drone around with my little dude, and we're going to go check out my dad's catamaran, because I'm just stupidly blessed. So try not to be, still send me positive vibes. You don't have to get mad at me. We're going to go have a great day together, but I wanted to get this information out to people to let you know, be like, there is neat, amazing little things that you can do that can start to help change the world around you, but you've got to change your internal world before your external world starts to change as well, because your external world is a reflection of what's happening internally with you. So everybody, remember, stay healthy, my friends. Have an amazing day. If somebody needs it, send them the prayers and positive vibes. So have a great day. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope you've enjoyed this.